Hi, my name is Holly Bass. I am a multidisciplinary artist, and I'm the playwright of the Transatlantic Time Traveling Company. I'm talking today with Carla McGinnis, and we're so excited to have you here.
Thank you for having me here. It's so good to be here. Good morning.
Good morning, Carla. Can you tell us a little bit about your connection with Theater Alliance and also with Afrofuturism?
Absolutely. I am the a board member for Theater Alliance. I've been on the board for a few years now, and very excited that Theater Alliance is doing this show right now. I am also the assistant director of council operations and museum initiatives at the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture, where we have an exhibition, Afrofuturism, a history of Black futures, on show right now at the museum.
I've seen the exhibition. It's really fantastic. I've gone a few times actually, and really love it and how it was put together, especially all of the video pieces. It was really, I think, kind of informative for me as I was working on the play as well. So I'd love to hear your personal definition of Afrofuturism. I know that there's the 1993 essay by Mark Derry where he sort of like put the word in print,
Mhm.
but this goes way beyond 1993. I mean, I think about Uhura on Star Trek and even before that in writing and stories and novels. So I'd love to hear your personal definition of Afrofuturism.
Yeah, I'm grateful for the exhibition at the museum right now because it's helped me uh, better define for myself what Afrofuturism and thinking more broadly and expansively about it, because that's what this exhibition does. It shows us how Black intellectuals like W.E.B. Du Bois was an Afrofuturist, like you said, before the term had been coined, but he was thinking about Black people in the future, creating whole lives for Black people in the future. And that's how I think about what Afrofuturism is. Um, Speculating on the future in a way that centers Black people, that has them living full, dynamic, complete lives. Um, and yeah, writers, artists, intellectuals have been doing this since we've been thinking, since we've been creating.
And tell us a little bit about the exhibition. Do you have a favorite element, or is there, I noticed you're wearing Octavia Butler earrings. Like, do you have a favorite sort of artist that's part of the Afrofuturist collective, broadly speaking?
I have to say Octavia Butler. There's a lot of about that exhibition I like. I like how it situates Afrofuturism, many years back, really pushing us to think um, about our history and where Afrofuturism has played a role. I mean, it makes sense to me that you've gone several times. It's certainly an exhibition that you can go back and get more and more from every time. It's one of those places where you can sit in the middle of the gallery and just take in all of that music. Um, and so, yeah, my favorite I would have to say is Octavia Butler. I love her work, and the her typewriter is on display in the exhibition, so that is definitely a highlight for me. One of the sections in the exhibition that is most meaningful for me is where the costume that Nichelle Nichols wore as Uhura is set right next to the kind of training suit that Trayvon Martin wore, because he wanted to be a an astronaut. He wanted to be in the air. He was exploring space. He went to a summer camp with NASA, and that's where he had this flight suit that's now on display right there. And I think it really hits home about what the Afro futures that are stolen from us through anti-Black violence. Um, and I don't, it just when you see when because I think a lot of the stories that we've heard about Trayvon Martin, it talks about, and even the exhibitions the museum has done before, talks about, his murder. And this is a opportunity to talk about his life and what he wanted for himself and what he dreamed of for his future. And so we get to learn about that and to imagine that, as well as it reminds us what gets robbed of us and our people when anti-black violence continues to just take the lives of our young people.
Yeah. Why do you think Afrofuturism is sort of in the zeitgeist right now? I mean, I've got my play at Theater Alliance. The exhibition is up at the museum. There's just been, I would say, over the past 10 years, especially, a sort of groundswell of conversation and publications around Afrofuturism and Black speculative fiction. Why do you think that's happening right now?
I think I think it's been happening. I think that's what you've been suggesting, is that this is not necessarily new. It's new language. I think I think we are in an age where, a lot more of this material is easily shared across the world. Um, and I think we're in a moment where we have to be thinking about the future. There's so much that's changing. We see our climate is changing. We see dynamics throughout the world is are changing, and not necessarily for the better. I think we're in a moment where we have to think about how we can do things differently so that we all can be thriving in the future, and that's driving us to think more speculatively, to be more radical in our thinking. And yeah, I think that this present moment in these things that are looming over us are calling us to think in this way.
Thank you so much, Carla. That's really, I think you hit the nail on the head with that, that there is I think, a greater sense of urgency that these
Yes,
problems have always existed. This threat to Black life has always existed, but now there is that sort of global understanding of how all of our liberation is really connected, and there is that greater sense of urgency.
right.
If folks are interested in seeing the Afrofuturist exhibition at the museum, how much longer is it going to be on view? Do you know?
Yeah, it's gonna be on view through this summer. It'll go down in August, so you still have some time to go and see it. I do encourage people to do like you did, see it a couple of times. Um, they can go online and get passes from the website. We do give out a few walk-up passes, so if you don't get that pass beforehand, there is a good chance you can just come to the museum and get one. But I do encourage people to go online. They shouldn't have too much trouble getting um, their timed entry passes and to see the exhibition through this summer.
All right, excellent. So the Afrofuturism exhibition at the National Museum of African American History and Culture will be on view through August 2024. And you can see the Transatlantic Time Traveling Company through March 17th at Theater Alliance. Thank you so much, Carla. It was incredible talking with you today.
Thank you.